Well, welcome everybody. Today we are going to do some live mentoring on the Buzzworthy Book Power Hour, and my guest is Gloria Treister, and she's the author of Wellness 101. And I just want to introduce myself. I'm Judy M. Baker, and I am a book marketing mentor, which means I help authors achieve the goals they want to reach. And I am trying out some new software and I'm having a little trouble getting myself back on camera. So let me see if I can do it now. Okay, I have a new scene and if we can get my camera up and running. Well, it's now looking at my desktop. We're getting closer. Let's just see. That is not the scene that we would like. So let me grab one more thing and video. Okay, my default camera. Well, this is very interesting because I am not finding the thing that I wanted. I disconnected my iPhone and now I am, let's see if I can get me to come back in. Well, Gloria's not there either, so let me get back over to me. There's my FaceTime camera, and I think I will get it. Just give me a moment. I know, I said, oh, this will be super simple, but of course, not always. So, camera, there we go. I think I can get that. Haha. That is saying overlays. So let me see. Nope, not what we wanted. So we want to go back over, get rid of that. Well, this is very interesting. I didn't think this was going to be such a challenge today, but of course, whenever you're doing something live and you're trying something new, it can be a little bit different. So let's just see if I can get us, into the scene. So let me see my source. Let me try blank, see if that'll work. Camera, FaceTime camera. Well, this is very, very curious that, let me see if I can go back over to the camera switcher. Well, Gloria, be patient. I am doing my best here. So let me see if I can, let me see. I want to source. Nope, that is not the right one. FaceTime camera is what I want, and set as my default. Okay, I think we're getting closer here. Okay, so here is my default, and let me, I'm going to put that. Opener. And I think if I put us on, I should be able to put us on the scene in just 1 second. So let me do that. And I think, I know what is the problem. Or not. That is not it. Well, I am bollocksed here. This is really getting me confused as to why it is not letting me do what I want to do. So let's see if we can get out of that one. That. Okay. Well, I am totally wondering what is happening here. So I've got that going on. Sound is fine, but I don't know where we are. Let me see if I can get us to show up. Ah, ah, man. Ah, I think we may be there. Okay. Let me see if I can get rid of that little puppy. Gloria, are you in the room? Okay. Let me see if I can get me on there. Okay. So, there we go. This is an experience, I will tell you. Every time I try something new, it can just be more and more interesting. But I think I've got us on there now. And okay, let me see if I've got us all where we're supposed to be now. Okay. Well, I at least got me back up on the screen, but now I would like to bring my guest on, and let me see if I can do that. So I'm going to put Gloria there, and I'm going to add her to my right. Gloria, are you able to join me on screen? Okay. Thank you all for your patience, and this is very, very interesting. So, oh, I muted you this time. So let me see if I got you. Okay, nope. I'm going to pop you into the green room, and then let's see if you can come back on to the screen. So I'm going to add you to my right. And Gloria, if you can turn your camera on, that would be amazing. Well, you know what? I think we may just have to take a break for a second. So let me just bring up a different scene for you and give me a minute. Let me see if I can have Gloria join me on camera. Okay, Gloria, are you there? Let me add you to my left. Here, I thought this was going to be so simple. So let's see. Hmm. Hmm. Hello, my dear. I am trying to get you on the screen. I can see you, but I'm not seeing you in. Oh, well, no, you're showing up in my green room, but I can't seem to see you on. I can't seem to. It says you're muted. No, that's what it's saying in here. Okay. 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 There you are. Okay, we got it. Yay. Now let me see if I can get you on the screen. Okay, so let me get you in, and I know I'm trying another format, and I thought I had tested everything, and I'm just goofy. Okay, so now I have to see how I get us both to show up, because you're showing up in this little guy, but how do I get you on? Let me see if I get you on this way.
God, I hate it when it's a mirror
Oh,
image.
oh, I know.
Is there a way to fix that? I don't want to be on a mirror. It'll drive
Well,
me nuts.
we're live. I mean, we're live. I've been goofing around here for about how long now? So anyway, let me see if I can get if I'm not sure if this is doing what it's supposed to do. So I want to get us onto the. Here we go. There you are. And all right. I thought this was so much simpler, and I'm going, where do I put us both on the screen? So let me make a new scene and see if that'll work. My new scene. One, two. See, now, I know, you would think this would be super, super simple, but of course, there's always something else.
Why this instead of like Zoom? I can't even deal with this
Oh,
this
well,
camera being backwards. It's crazy. How do you fix that?
I think you can do it in your settings, but let me see if let me check one thing. I want to see if we're showing up live where I think we're showing up live.
Okay.
Just let me test that. Since anyone who's been here that's being very patient, I will be able to edit this later, but I apologize for that. So here we'll go LinkedIn. Ah, I know. There's always more to the trick than you think there is. Okay, that's showing me. Oh no, I didn't want to add me to the left. I want to be me solo, and now I want to add you. There we go. Ah, now okay. So now we're good. So I can talk with you, Gloria. Thank you very much for your patience, and I do apologize. This is always exciting, and I'm always up for a challenge. So let's start right here, right now. And I appreciate you. And I would love for you to tell everybody why you are the wellness expert and what you do and about your book.
Okay. Well, first of all, my name's Gloria Treister. I am a board certified holistic health practitioner, among a bunch of other certifications, because I am an education junkie and I just love learning. I have been in healthcare for 44 years, going on 45. So I've been around a while. I got into healthcare as a quirk of fate. It wasn't something that I planned to do, wanted to do, studied to do. I took over a business in my husband's family after a death in the family. It was a physical therapy business. And I kind of just got sucked in. I really loved that you could help people by making them stronger, by making them healthier, by teaching them things. And it really resonated for me. And as time went by, I really kind of just um, wondered, why is it with our healthcare system in our country especially that you have to wait until you're broken and then try to fix it? It really bugged me, and I started seeking out other ways of keeping people from getting sick in the first place. And so that's when I started to really study more about physical fitness, about nutrition, about all types of alternative medicine. I was hanging out with the weird, crazy alternative people back in the late 80s and early 90s, but I just loved it. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to teach. And so I think that I like to call myself a student and a teacher when it comes to health and well being.
Well, I really appreciate that. And, when I first got kind of inundated, I live in the land of woo woo. So, I live in Northern California. So everything kind of started here. And it makes me think about when the Benzinger family moved to here from back east. They where their winery is used to be a commune, clothing optional, no less. And here was this big family. They're wonderful people, and I'm friends with a number of the kids. And they said, well, they came here and they realized it was, I mean, basically, we're the land of milk and honey. It is so beautiful here. You can do almost anything you want. The land is rich, the people are friendly, and they have crafted a life. All of them. This is now third generation, because there is this sense of there's a connectedness to both physical and mental well-being, and a lot of people have come here for that very reason. And I know you deal with a lot of corporations and
Hmm.
kind of get out of whack, where I used to live in very high pressured area. I don't live there anymore. So, I know you came by this because you encountered some things in your own life, and then you realized other people were not being as effective as they could be because they were, all out of balance. So I love your approach, and I've just seen you over the last year really blossom. So tell me what's going on with you in your book, because the book goes into great detail. And how did that even come about? How did you decide to create that content?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, I'll just give you a little insight into the approach that I take, which is a root cause approach, meaning it's different than your conventional medicine. I discovered functional medicine way back in the early 2000s. It may have been 2000. I found out about a conference that was being held at the Aspen Institute, um, and I went, and there were 100 people there, which is a very small conference. And it was all the gurus back then of people who were trying to carve a path to a new way of looking at healthcare. So
Hmm.
instead of a, hey, you've got a symptom, let's squash it with a medication approach, they were saying, oh, hey, you have a symptom. Why do you have that symptom? Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
And also, the approach included the fact that we are a system. Our whole body works in systems. The way that our current healthcare system works, if you've got a cardiac problem, they send you to a cardiologist, and now you're just a heart. Or
Hmm.
you have a digestive system, they send you to a gut specialist, and now you're just a gut. But they're not taking into account the whole person. And you even mentioned the mind and the body connection.
Right.
All of that plays into our health and well being, and that's more of what a functional medicine approach really is.
Hmm.
And so I opened Wellness Evolution in 2003, which is my company, and everybody pretty much that I talked to about it laughed at me and said, no one will ever pay for wellness. Well, they were wrong. I was right, but I was too early in the game.
Yeah.
People didn't want to pay out of pocket. I had wonderful practitioners. And in fact, I'll tell you a real quick story that's really fascinating. I discovered Dr. Jeffrey Bland, who is the father of functional medicine. So our listeners who
Oh,
are aware of functional medicine will know his name, and if they don't, look him up because he's amazing. But anyway, I was opening Wellness Evolution. I had a doctor who was going to be my medical director. I had naturopathic doctors. I had acupuncture, skincare. We had the whole thing set up. And I took this doctor with me to Michigan to hear Dr. Bland, he and his wife was a nurse. And all day, Dr. Bland talked about how food is medicine. And nutrition can heal you. And it was so funny because all the way home, the doctor said to me, "Oh my God, I feel like I just got off the Starship Enterprise. You mean I can treat my patients with nutrition? Oh my God." This was foreign because doctors were not trained that way, Judy. And so it was so
Oh,
interesting to me. We talked all the way home for 3 hours
yeah.
about how his training really hadn't taught him that. And it's something that he intuitively felt
Mhm.
was the right way to go. And he was so excited. So that was really exciting to me. Once I launched Wellness Evolution, and we had so much trouble really getting people to understand what we were doing, and
Mhm.
I just kept forging ahead. Around 2008, when the financial situation wasn't so great in this country, the phone
Uh,
stopped ringing. We were really doing well, and then the phone stopped ringing. And I heard about a company here in town, a Fortune 200 company
mhm.
that had a CEO who really, really believed in complementary and alternative medicine and a root cause resolution approach. And he had put together a huge um, wellness program for his employees where he was paying 80% of anything they wanted. It was amazing.
Wow.
So I made sure to get myself in there. They had 60,000 employees in the United States. And we wound up getting a contract and going in there and running a wellness center for
Yeah.
them. And then we put in to run two programs for them. One was cardiovascular metabolic, and the other one was a brain health program.
Yeah.
And for that program, we knew we were going to need handouts, we were going to need PowerPoints, we were going to need things to teach.
Yeah.
And that's what started the book. So that was a long, circuitous story, but it leads to the book. And the book started as a bunch of very high quality, simplified, which is what I like to call my superpower, taking hard topics because
Yes.
sometimes wellness can seem confusing, nutrition can seem confusing, taking supplements can be confusing. And so, what my goal was for this program, because we were dealing with all ages, all types of job functions,
Mm.
from the factory floor to the senior, the CEO suite. So,
Right.
we really needed to address everyone. And I sat down with my team and we started making handouts, and we made them fun. We made them easy to digest. We made them simple to read. And those handouts sat there for several years after the programs ended. And I
Mhm.
said, what? I'm going to turn that into a book. People need this information, and they need it in small little sound bites. They need it in easy to read chapters with pictures and with activities and with lists, because who wants to read text about wellness and health? Nobody.
I think, that's just so true. And I know, from my own experience, because I had ovarian cancer back in 2013, 2014. And fortunately, I was already working with an acupressurist and had a pretty strong foundation with my nutrition. But then I learned so much more. And because of that, I was ahead of the game. So I had done some things wrong. I'm going to admit it. Sugaraholic here, and
Hmm.
if you've had cancer or know someone who's had cancer, the first thing the doctor will say, no sugar, because guess what? Cancer likes sugar. So
Cancer loves sugar.
that went totally out of my diet, completely out of my diet, and I pretty much during treatment and afterwards eliminated sugar for almost, okay, I was very, very good for 7 years. And then I had an issue with my back, and I know they call it comfort food, but that's really the wrong word for it. I was craving stuff because I didn't have control over some of the pain that I was having. It was physical,
Mhm.
and I was feeling depressed. I was feeling like, wow, what's going on, and unhappy. And so I kind of let some things creep back into my diet, and I recognized I was doing the opposite of what I needed to do. So that's now being addressed. So now my back is healing, and I feel much better, and the sugar has decreased significantly. And I'm not trying to be. Well, anybody remember the soup Nazi on Seinfeld? I was the sugar Nazi. That's not realistic. Is just not realistic in if you live in the modern world. But I can choose more deliberately. Yeah, I think that's really the truth of it. I'm choosing more deliberately, and so I'm spending my caloric intake, and means sometimes I can have a treat, but it doesn't mean I eat a treat at every meal unless I'm just counting fruit, which is okay. So you understood that, and I love what you did because you did something that another one of my clients did. She had this huge body of information, and she understood it, and in fact she learned it because she had a problem. She'd been in a very bad accident, and she was sent to alternative therapy to heal. And when she was in the therapy, she just said, oh, I love this. And she's now been an acupressurist for I want to say it's more than 40 years. And her manual, same thing, she kept gathering information, and then she wanted to make it accessible for people. And yeah, people don't like to read. I mean, you do, because how many degrees do you have, by the way?
Oh, it's not degrees so much as a million certifications, but I'm
Yeah.
back in school. You should know that. I'm
Oh my
seeking
gosh.
a yeah, I'm studying with the Health Sciences Academy of London for a clinical nutritionist
Oh,
practitioner certification because I
yeah.
want to know more about how nutrition scientifically works. And I know that sounds complicated, but then I can take that knowledge and share it with readers, with with our we just got a new corporate contract and we're
Yeah.
going to be working with a lot of people in the factories. It's hard sometimes for people to change habits, but I think that the most important thing is to gather the information, make it palatable, and then feed it to people in just small little doses where they actually understand the why. Because if you don't understand the why of what you're doing, there's no point. I just I write a weekly article, Judy, and I send it out to several thousand people, and then I post it on LinkedIn every week.
Yeah.
And each week I try to come up with something that people are interested in. I always ask ChatGPT, what's the most Googled wellness subject this week?
Right.
But this week I did something a little different. I wrote about running your health like you would run a successful business. And
Uh,
so knowing your why, having a mission statement, why do you want to be well? Because most people don't think about that. Um, it
right.
could be that you want to fit into your skinny jeans, or it could be that you want to live long enough to travel the world when you retire, or it could be that you just want to be able to get on the floor and play with your grandkids when you're older. But you need to know your why. And so I think that that is super important. And even if it's just getting people to think a little differently about the way they approach their health by knowing their why. That's
Yes.
a big step for some people. So a lot of little baby steps equals good solid change. And I always say, be cool to your future self. Like what you're doing today does affect your future self.
Oh my goodness. And there's some habits I built that have lasted me my whole life. And part of the reason I got so depressed, because of the thing that was going on with my back, I have a little bit of scoliosis, but that coupled with the you've probably heard, I mean, I don't know if everybody understands this, but stenosis just means a narrowing of the canal. And so there was a nerve that was pressing on both sides, and it was hitting me right about the sacrum level. So every time, this is someone who's walked their whole life 5 to 10 miles a day, not these little, not around the block. I'm talking, I would walk 5 to 10 miles a day. And I did this
Wow.
before it was ever fashionable to do it because my parents didn't drive. And so we walked everywhere. And I didn't even have a car until I was 29 because I didn't want to drive. But here was the thing. When I suddenly couldn't do something that I thought I had built a lifelong habit that I'd always be able to do, and suddenly I couldn't do it without it feeling like somebody was taking a hot poker and jamming it into my back for the entire time I was walking. And I mean, I was so depressed. But you have to also accept that your body changes over time and you might need to make an adjustment. And this week alone, this was so funny. I have a friend, she's 82. She's a fitness instructor. She's been a fitness instructor for over 40 years. She can wipe anybody I know off the face of the planet. She's so strong, so fast, and she just, motors. So I did her chair fitness because for the next 4 weeks I can't bend over a whole lot. And it was harder than my mat Pilates class. And I did her walking class, and we did 3 miles in 45 minutes. So just to say, you can always
Hmm.
do something. It may not look like what you used to do, but you can always do something. So
Right.
with your book, now I know you use that when you are coaching people in a corporate environment, but do you have any other aspirations for the book, or are there some challenges you've encountered as now that you've published it and it is an absolutely, do you have a copy you'd like to hold up? Because it is a beautiful book. Okay.
It is
Oh, here,
full of
let me put you. Oh,
pictures.
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
It's full of beautiful pictures and charts and all kinds of fun stuff. So yes, it's designed to be very simple to read. See all those pictures? I've
Yeah.
got a picture. Like for instance, most people wind up with inflammation. I mean, that's just part of aging, inflammation. And but you can help yourself. I have a chart,
Yeah.
and I wish I had it tagged. I do in another copy of the book, but here, I'll give you another example. Let's say your doctor says, Judy, you need to go get some more fiber in your diet. You're like, okay, what does that mean? So in my book,
Yeah.
on this side, it tells you what is fiber. Nope, this side.
Oh,
What is
yes.
fiber?
Yes, yes.
Why do you need it? What does it do? And then on the page next to it, it shows you where to get it.
I
It's
love
that
it.
simple.
I love
If
it.
you just see those 2 pages, that's all you really need to know. And that's kind of why I set this up the way I did. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to eat out, I have healthy tips for eating out. It's 1 page. The
Uh,
grocery shopping list, how to read a nutrition label, um, all of the different things like what's protein, what's carbohydrate, but it's simple. It's
yeah.
simple, simple, simple. So the point of the book is that it's got a lot of pictures. It's very
Yeah.
pretty. That was by
Yes.
design. It's
Yes.
very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use any big words. If I do, if it's a word that might not be understandable for some people, I define it immediately because for me, that's annoying. I would not want to have to read a book and constantly look things up,
No.
especially when it's scientific in a way, but
Yeah.
not,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want it to be scientific. So the book has a sense of humor. We have a lot of fun in there, and I have little activities for people to drive home the point of a page. Like in the fiber, there's a little box at the bottom that says, circle the benefits of eating more fiber that you think would benefit you today. And it lists all the benefits.
Uh-huh.
It makes it easy to understand what the benefits are because you're kind of saying, oh, okay, I could use that. Oh, it does that? That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so now we're using, what's great about it is now I have all these great articles because the book is made up of 1 and 2, mostly 1 and 2 page articles. Some go 3, as long as
Oh,
3. So as I say sometimes, and my husband gets mad at me for saying it, it would make a great bathroom book because you could sit down and in one sitting you could learn something new. You can you can read a page in a couple minutes and go, wow, okay, I didn't know that. I'll take that with me today. So it's kind of a nice format. And what I'd like to do, you asked the question.
Yeah.
I have already begun the process of turning it into a course so that
Oh,
people can find their way through because it doesn't read like a chapter book. So it would be boring to just learn all the nutrition stuff and then learn all the stuff about toxic chemicals in the environment, which I have a chapter about that. And that's an important subject that a lot of people aren't sure how to handle.
yeah.
And I've got a whole chapter in there about lab tests because most of the time when you go to the doctor, when you get your lab results back, they're in front of the doctor. There's a bunch of numbers on a piece of paper, and they look at it. They don't even look at you. They look at it and they look up and go, "Oh, you're fine," or "Oh, this number's off a little bit. So here's your drug. Go take this. This will, take your cholesterol down, or this will get your blood pressure in check." But they don't really explain to you what it means and what's going on. And I felt like that was good information if you're interested in it. If you're not, you don't have to read it. But I also have a whole section about supplements because that's a huge industry right now. And
Yeah.
I feel there's a lot of fraud and abuse and claims being made, and people are spending money, a lot of money, and many times it's not really going to help them.
No, it's actually going in the toilet. And we're not joking when we say it's actually that's where it's going. Your body's not absorbing it. It's not in a
Hmm.
form that your body can use it. So, okay, so you mentioned you're turning it into a course, but I'm wondering what are you doing in between? So now you've got the big book. You're turning it into a course, but as you're getting ready to have that course come alive, what kinds of things are you doing to get people interested in the material, interested in you? You know, yeah. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. So, but
I'm
you
with
know,
you on that.
yeah. So, what are you doing that is working, and maybe where are you hitting some road bumps?
Well, I mean, writing the weekly articles, I was hoping would generate more interest in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely use some help with that because I don't see that as being extremely effective. I am working with Robbie Samuels, and we're doing our book promotion. And my
Mm-hmm.
book is expensive, so I think that's a bit of a roadblock for me because it is 350 pages and it's full color. And I can't. It wouldn't be the same book without color,
No.
so it tends to make it more pricey. So I'm dealing with that right now. For the promotion that we're doing next week. And if this airs after the promotion, I apologize to listeners, but we'll do it again.
Yeah.
But I did lower the price not only of the Kindle version, but also of the printed version because I want to get it in people's hands.
Yeah.
I didn't write it to make money. You don't make a lot of money with books.
No.
So it's just more to get it in people's hands so that they can benefit from the delivery of the information. And earlier I mentioned Dr. Jeffrey Bland. He's one of the people that I sent a copy of the book to and asked him to review it for me.
Uh
And the
huh.
first thing he said was, "I love your book." So
Oh,
I was just, I mean, I was speechless for 3 hours. I couldn't talk. I was so excited.
that is.
And
Yeah.
I've sent it to, I got a review from Dan Buettner Jr. of the Blue Zones. There's some pretty compelling people who have given me beautiful reviews. I need more.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to be working on that a little bit. I just heard Robbie talk about getting reviews for the book, and I think that's super important. So I'm going to do that. But other than that, I think I want to do a relaunch because it's been about a year
Ooh.
and I'm thinking of a relaunch. And so, what do you think about that, Judy?
Well, I have to tell you, I think you can have a party for your book every single day. And that's really what a launch is. It's a party, it's a celebration. You're inviting people to come and go, whoa, there's this great thing I want to share with you. and it'll help you. It'll make you feel better. So I think a relaunch would be brilliant. And you've got an anniversary coming up. That is perfect. You can say, on the second anniversary of my book, I'm relaunching it so that you can get this, and maybe you're going to add a little something else to the mix, so you'll get people in. That's, I think, one of the beauties of where we are today in publishing. It used to be you would publish a book and you had 6 weeks to make everybody in the world know about your book. Now, not terribly realistic given that I don't know if you know the statistic on this. How many new books do you think are added every year?
Oh my God, millions,
It's
right?
over 2 million. Over 2 million. So
Wow.
I know. So if we were to picture all the books that have ever been published, I don't even know I think we'd be out of the galaxy, to be honest. So
Yeah.
trying to get people's attention when you have a new book means you've got to be a little noisy. But when I say noisy, I don't necessarily mean you're being, like you're pressuring people, but you already have given so many good tips just in this short amount of time that you've got bite-sized chunks of information. So you can use those bite-sized chunks to start dripping out there to help people then find the bigger book. And then you invite them to the party when you have your new launch day, or you can just say it's an anniversary celebration. But you get to control that. And I know you are a very dynamic speaker. So if you took, you could just flip to any chapter and say, oh, today I'm going to do a short video and I'm going to read from my chapter. Or you can just
Wow.
up your chapter and you can share about that, and then let people know, oh, if you'd like, if this was helpful, here's where to go to get more. So you can use that. I mean, you've got the whole dinner in that book.
Hmm.
What if you're not hungry for the whole thing, you just want a snack? So I'm using your own words. You could make it snack size so that
Hmm.
you can get it. And it's a really funny thing when people do that. When you make your information available that way, people will gobble it up, and then they're going to come looking for more.
Unknown caller.
We're having the tech day today. I know. This is so funny. But, I think you're in an enviable position because you're on the other side of the first part of it, which was the writing and publishing. Now,
Hmm.
all this content, and think about, where could I sprinkle this? Now, you said you've been doing articles. Where have you been publishing those? I'm curious about that.
I send them out to an email list of about 1,900 people every Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
I get an open rate of about 33% on average. So it's not bad.
Right.
It's about right around 600 people
Yeah.
open it every
That's
week. Now, I don't know if that's bots or people or what it is, but according to I use Zoho campaigns, which I
right.
love,
Yeah.
and it gives me all kinds of data.
Yeah.
So that helps. And then during the week, like this morning,
Yes.
I published it on LinkedIn, and then I share it with groups the next day. So
Okay.
I'm in about 20 groups. They only let you share with 20. So
Yeah.
I've been kind of picking and choosing, and so far I enjoy doing it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure that I'm getting it to everyone that I would hope it would get to,
Mm-hmm.
but it's picking up traction. What was the one I wrote one 2 weeks ago? Oh, it's so weird. I've written articles about healthy aging and all kinds of things, making your skin beautiful. And the one that got the most comments was one on hydration. Who would think that?
Oh, because the weather's been so weird. You know,
Mhm.
I can remember. So Diane Wolf was a guest of mine about 2 weeks ago. The day we did the interview, now she lives in Canada. She lives near Toronto. It was over 100 something degrees. She has no air conditioning. She was
Oh,
suffering.
no.
It was cooler in Sonoma. I think I was about 82 degrees. She was, she was really feeling the heat.
Oh, no.
And so I think that may have had something to do with it because we've
Yeah.
had pockets like in New Jersey. Definitely Texas has just been getting nabbed with the rain and the heat. So I bet that was why. I bet that was why that really hit home.
Yeah.
So,
It was weird. I didn't expect that, but
yeah,
you never know what's going to tug on people's heartstrings, like
it will.
what's near and dear to them.
Well, do you know how many people are subscribed to your LinkedIn newsletter?
Yes, about 1,300.
Okay, so you've got a good
Yeah.
number there already started. And now maybe there's something you can add to your articles that would get people, you know, make it a game. Seriously, you could just put in the end. What do you think you might want to have them do that could help you grow your list? What's an idea that comes to mind to you?
To grow my list. You mean to get
Yeah,
them to subscribe? I mean, obviously, lead magnets are great, information.
yeah,
But aren't people, what I'm worried about is that people have information overload. There's too much information, which was another reason I wrote the book. Because if you Google anything, you're going to get a million hits. And
exactly.
then one of them's going to say, eat eggs. And the next one's going to say, no, no, don't eat eggs. And then the next one's going to say, you can eat eggs, but only the whites. And then another one will say, no, the nutrition's in the yolk. And
Right.
then you're like, oh, the hell with it. I'm just going to go get a bag of chips because you don't know what to
You
do. It's
don't.
confusing.
It
And
is
so I
confusing.
feel like people needed, and I've done research, and to have the experts who read the book and said, this is great,
Yeah.
makes me feel like, okay, this is a good, reliable resource. So now, how do I get people to say, okay, I'm going to cut through the clutter. I'm just going to read this. I swear to you, Judy, if somebody read this book,
Yeah.
they would know enough to stay well for the rest of their lives. They don't need
Oh,
anything else. This covers all the basics. You want to know something a little bit more in depth? Then
mm,
by all means, go research and do it.
right.
But this is enough. This is
Yeah.
enough for anyone. But
Yeah.
how do you get people to say, I want that? I could, I follow a lot of gurus. Some of them are selling you how to get more people for your coaching clients or how to get more people to do another thing. And if it makes them money, they're interested. But if
Mm,
it's about their health, it's a much harder sell for some reason. And I don't get
yeah.
that.
Well, I think. I do know the answer to that, actually. You didn't
Do
know
you?
that I was going to know the answer to that one. I was in denial that I was sick. I said, "Oh, I'm past menopause. This is menopausal symptoms." I didn't know I had cancer. It did not occur to me I was as sick as I was. I had to wind up in the emergency room for me to know that I had cancer. And so I was totally in denial. I was working out. I was working out 6 days a week. And then I suddenly couldn't. And I suddenly was just really, I hurt. I was tired. Oh man, is the color of my dress. No, actually the color of my hair. I looked about like this before I got diagnosed. I was so sick because I couldn't eat. I had so much fluid build up in my abdomen. And so I didn't want to deal with it. So I would have done anything, but I didn't want to look at the truth. And I know there are a lot of people that don't want to really take a look at, well, if I take responsibility, that means suddenly they think they were going to be like, oh, well then I can't do this and I can't do this and I can't do. Well, no, that isn't the truth. You get to know the information, so you get to plan your life accordingly for what you want. If
Mhm.
careers don't matter to you, then go ahead and stay up late and do all the other bad things that you can do. But if you really want to have a quality life, then they should be looking at what you have to offer. I have a thought. I do have a thought. So you've got 1,300 people there, but are you incentivizing them to share with their friends? Are you asking them? Are you telling them, if you do this, share this and then send me a picture of you sharing it on your feed, and maybe you'll give them some other information as a reward, maybe.
I love that idea. What's enticing though? What do you give people?
You like you said, you've got charts and graphs and things in there. Is there something in there that would be really helpful if I'm in the kitchen and I want to make a good, healthy, protein rich, low sugar meal? Is there something in your book that could help me do that?
There's some recipes in there for sure. Yeah,
Well, about that. And you might even, I bet you've got some things that didn't go in the book, right?
I do.
Okay.
And
So,
I have things saved up for the next book.
okay. But if you've got some recipes, if you told me, if I do my thing, I take a picture of me sharing your post, your newsletter, that you're going to send me a recipe. Uh, I'm in. I'm a recipe hacker, so that entices me. And you can experiment. You can try it. So each of the different newsletters has a different theme. So something related to that content. And as you said, you got a big hit with hydration. Well, what if you also, okay, so this is my water bottle, which you can see it's a thermo flask, thank you, Costco. But there's other companies that make that stuff, and you might even think about reaching out to them and saying, gee, I just published this article and this many people saw it. It really went all over the place. Would you like to possibly do a partnership, or maybe that you can get an affiliate link and mention those kinds of things? That is one of the other ways people make money off of their content, but you're not doing a hard sell at all. You're just saying, I
Mhm.
like this product and I thought you might be interested. And by the way, I have an affiliate link. Here's where you go to do it. I mean, a lot of the people I follow in the business world and in the book world, that's exactly what they do. Because why not? You would, if I lived near you, you would tell me who your hairdresser is, right?
Mhm.
Difference. You're just being
Good
helpful.
point.
You're just being helpful. I think, and
No, that's a great
lots of
point. I
stuff.
love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's really reframing this idea that marketing is this icky thing. It is not. It's a conversation. You're offering value, and you're saying, here it is. You're not saying, oh, you must take this. You're saying, this is what I know. This is what I've learned. I've done a lot of research so that you don't have to do it, and I'll make it easy for you. Get the health that you want. Here's where you get started. And because you're such an agreeable, amiable person, I already know I trust you. I know how smart you are. And that's what you want to do. You want to share without making people feel bad because they're not quite there yet. You know,
Mm.
I mean, if I've learned anything, it, and you probably know this already. Anytime you're trying to build a habit, if you punish yourself when you don't reach your goal, that puts you behind. It doesn't put you ahead. Being compassionate is how you make changes. And they need to, and like you said, they need to be small. So if you
Mhm.
not only take that same idea and now that's how you distribute your information in small bite-sized chunks, then hey, let's be like Hansel and Gretel. We're leaving a trail of gingerbread in the woods, and we're not going to put you in the oven. We're going to give you the treats when you get when you get to the house.
Oh my gosh. I love that idea. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I often wonder about that and what's really compelling and what people, what turns people on because it is hard and it is a harder sell with wellness for some reason. So
Yeah.
um, you can't quantify it as easily. And it's like, oh, now I have to do something. Or like you said, I have to stop doing something and I don't want to stop. I want to eat sugar or whatever. I
Oh,
don't want to have to exercise. All
well,
those
yeah.
fun things.
I'm the opposite. This I will say, this has been really challenging because I had to really shift my exercise routine for this coming month. And I was tempted, yeah, I was tempted to go do what I normally do. And I went, you can't do that because I had an incision. I have to let it heal.
Oh,
But
wow.
it's such a strong habit. I mean, I've exercised almost every day since I was 30, about 37. So this is a 30 plus year habit. And for me to have to not do what I regularly do, I'm having to say, okay, this is what you are supposed to be doing right now so that you can get back to being Miss Gonzo on the other side.
You're
What
being kind to your future self.
I am being very good to my future self, and I know that it's true. When you first started on your journey, what got you attracted to, making some changes? Because I don't imagine you just grew up being perfectly healthy and knowing all the
No,
stuff.
no, not at all. Not at all. I don't know. I started working out after I had my first daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I was 29.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just started doing aerobic dancing and I ran a gym for a while.
Oh,
Oh yeah, all kinds of things. But I don't know. I just always felt good, and I love it now that I'm older.
yeah.
That I am in much better shape than a lot of my friends. My skin looks better. My
Yeah.
hair, I got more hair.
Yeah.
It's
I'm jealous.
yeah, it's it's um it's good to feel good, and I wish I could package that up and sell it in a way that people would say, "Well, I want more of that. I want some of that. That's what I want."
I don't always. I have this idea in my head. Have you ever thought about maybe having a happy hour, a wellness happy hour online?
Ooh, um, I did that for my book launch party, but I
Okay.
haven't done it since. So that is a fun idea. I had mocktails, a
Yes.
really pretty
Yeah.
glass, and I made a real pretty red colored mocktail.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent out recipes for people to come to the party with a mocktail.
Yeah.
And no, but that's a great idea. Happy hour, happy healthy hour.
A happy, healthy hour. And that's something that wouldn't take up a lot of your time. You could do it, maybe once a month. And that way you can share as you're getting ready to do the next book and as you're ready to celebrate the relaunch of your current book. You get people in the room, and then this is the best part of it. You get to listen to what they're saying so you can use that language as you are attracting more people.
Yeah, yes, definitely,
That would be fun.
definitely. Judy, you are so fun. And I love your ideas. No, you are. Well, we've talked before. We know
We
we
have.
we would probably be good friends if we lived in the same town. We'd be partying.
We
Having fun is healthy for you.
it
Laughter
always
is healthy for you. All of that is healthy for you. Community and being with people. People don't consider that part of your health, but it truly is.
well, I know that it is, and I've been making more of an effort for myself because I have a tendency to kind of hang out by myself and I do things and I'm having a great time, but I have a better time with other people. And so I'm getting myself to go out and do things on my own. I do things with my husband, I do things with friends. And it does make a difference because one of the biggest tragedies is loneliness shortens your life, and
Mhm.
really are a true hermit kind of curmudgeon person, we all need other people. So I think that's really fun. And I would love for you to do a health and wellness hour. I think it would just be fun, and you can experiment with us. You can say, here, does it, here's what I did. Do you have questions about it before you get the next book done? Because that way you've got real life feedback. And sometimes I know I've done it. I'll think, well, this makes perfect sense. And then somebody looks at it and they go, what? Did you, what were you saying there? Oh,
Yes, 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 that does happen
oh my
for
God.
sure.
Oh, wow. Well, I want to be on your launch team for book number 2 and to help you do the relaunch. If you would like some help, I'm here to do it. That's what I do.
Oh gosh, and you do it so well.
Oh, thank you, my dear. I appreciate you hanging out with me today and me testing this. And I realized what I did that I goofed up on. This has an interview mode, which the other streaming service didn't have. And so I thought you just were going to walk in the green room. But no, I had to answer the phone. Now I know that.
Well, and the other thing I would suggest, I was
Yes.
on Safari, and I think that it worked better on my end on Chrome. I had to change
Oh,
browsers. So maybe
yeah.
suggest to your guests
No.
to come on a Chrome browser. It suggested it to me.
Yeah. And it's really funny because this is why I think it's particularly interesting. Ecamm is a Mac only um, streaming service. But
What?
no, no, no. I mean, as a host, you have to be on an Apple OS. But almost all of the streaming services say this, that Chrome is a better browser for streaming, and I know why it is. Apple sometimes puts things in their software that conflicts with other people's stuff. And if you try to go in that little corner, you'll get booted out the door. And it does seem to run better on Chrome. I agree with you. And so I know that. And you are a good sport. I mean, this is terrible. I'm using my friends and authors to help me. So Christopher Johnson, who is a Zoom event producer, he was my first guest. And he got me sort of set up. He said, do you need any help? And I said, oh, no, I'll be fine. Well, here's the fact of the matter. Just like with publishing, you don't know what you don't know. And I had used StreamYard probably, a couple of years ago. So I thought, well, I know what I'm going to do. They changed the interface. So where I was looking for stuff wasn't where it was living. And so I went, oh, I felt like the proverbial duck with my little feet under the water. And
Mhm.
Christopher would have helped me completely out with that, but I didn't know I needed his help. But that's why you should hire Christopher Johnson if you need someone. He is calm and clear media.
Oh
He
my
is.
God, his voice is calming. That
Oh,
alone will calm you down.
I know, I know. Well, he did. He talked me down. So so I'm coaching him on the getting ready to write a book, but he's telling me what to do on the software. And then with Diane was much smoother, but it still wasn't easy. I know this looks like it should be super simple, y'all, but it ain't. It's like when you go to a wedding, you don't want to be anywhere near the bride and the bridal party the day of the wedding because it's total chaos behind the scenes. Just enjoy the party. Don't get but I'll do better next time. But yeah, I mean, so I am testing this out partly for myself, but partly for you all. Because as you can see, when you speak to people and you bring them in, it's a much better experience than when you're just kind of wondering, is anybody out there listening? And you also are creating an asset that you can reuse. So just like Gloria's book, which she is now going to repurpose.
It is again.
Yes, it's
Wellness
great.
101.
Let me put you on there, so I'll hold that up again. It is a beautiful book, and And I actually do. I'm going to see if I can get that scene to come up. I have a thing. I did a whole screen, but because I put the interview thing on, I couldn't figure out how to do it. Let me see if I can do it now. Let's see. I'm going to go to my this one. Oh, it worked this time. Yay. Okay. So this shows you exactly where to get Gloria's book. It's available on her website. It's also available on Amazon, and you can see the link is right there, and you can buy that book. But I also have another little goodie to show you because let me see if I got that one up there right. Nope, that's that one. Oh, I duplicated that one. I didn't get the new thing up. I did make another thing. I will put it in the comments area so that you'll be able to see it. And this is so much fun that I am thrilled that we're here, and I want to get that off the screen. And let's see if I can do. Yeah.
While you're searching, I do have a freebie on my website. It's called the 30-Day Health Recharge. I forgot to mention that. If you go to wellnessevolution.com,
Yeah.
not revolution, evolution, I have tips, little baby tips that each day you try one tip. So one day it might be about drinking more water. One day it might be, but it's all little steps, and in 30 days you will be all charged up and ready to go.
Ooh. Well, Gloria did give me all that information, and I promise I will put it in comments so you will all be able to find this. And Gloria, you are a treasure. I can't wait to see the new book, and I can't wait for the happy hour. Happy
Ooh, thank you.
healthy
You will be
wellness hour to happen. So thank you so much, y'all. And
my first guest.
This has been so much fun, and I will see you again too for the next Buzzworthy Book Power Hour. Take care.
Buzzworthy. Woohoo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Judy.
Now I have to figure out how to turn this off because I'm not sure. Oh my goodness. I think, let's see. I'm trying to do it without booting you out the door. And you would think there would be a big button somewhere that would just say, now you can go away.
Yeah, on my screen, there's nothing. I mean, share screen. I tried that before, which is because I thought maybe I wasn't sharing my camera or something. That didn't work.
No, it was me. It was totally me. And I'm just looking to see recording. Okay, I've got recording, but that's not what I want. You know what? I don't see where it says to end it. This is very, very funny. I know. Seems like it should be obvious. Let me see. I may be booting you out. If I do, I apologize, but I'm going to try.
That's okay.
I know. I am not finding it. Let me see. Profile, source, camera, mic. Well, I don't know where it is. I have to find out how to say goodnight, Gracie. I will see you soon. Take care.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks, Judy.
Right,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There we go. That's what I need to do. So thank you all. See you again soon.